After her misadventures with ghostly pirates, Verisa returns to the beleaguered men's hideout to learn that they are being hunted down and the situation is dire. After relating her tale, they decide to investigate the decrepit ship, but first Verisa decides to interview the prisoner. She doesn't learn anything new from the questioning, so they head up to the pirate ship. Once they reach it, they start exploring and find a strange compartment in the captain's quarters, but they are unable to open it. They then notice a pentagon-shaped slot. After deciding that the ship could be their salvation, they set about planning to move their operation into it. As it is dark, they decide to spend the night. But Verisa is woken in the night by strange sounds and sees some strangers around a campfire nearby. She approaches them, and after a short conversation, the men attack. But as soon as one of them lands a blow, she passes out and reawakens to find the cave once more abandoned. The next day dawns, and Verisa keeps the events of the previous night to herself. Verisa and her companions each get a specific task. They split up and head off. She goes in search of Pringle, and along the way she runs into 3 Blackfoot orcs. She manages to impress them with her martial prowess, and they let her pass on to Threndil. She reaches the town, where she learns of a bounty on orcs. So Verisa decides to team up with a grizzled warrior called Silver. They go hunt the orcs she encountered earlier, but it turns out Silver was in league with the orcs. He goes off to talk to their leader, leaving Verisa's fate to the other orcs. A bloody battle follows. Verisa emerges victorious and then returns to town. The next day, she learns Pringle is headed towards Darden. It takes a few days, but she manages to catch up with him. Pringle shares with Verisa that Safi the cat is really his wife, and he needs the Philosopher's Stone to return her to her human form. Pringle also tells her more about the ship known as the Dragonfly and Captain Oswald. She learns that the last remaining heir of the captain has a necklace that would fit into the slot they found on the ship. So they decide on a plan to attempt to steal it from him. As per usual, the plan leads to an unintentional murder spree. A short while later, they are on the road, fleeing into the night, amulet in hand, and numerous bodies left in their wake, and 1 horse richer. We take our leave as the day dawns, with Verisa and Pringle stocking up in Trendle. Will they make it back to the beleaguered men before the pursuers catch up with them? Will they learn more about the secret orcs? How will the amulet affect the ship? Find out next time on Dicing with Death.
I am muted.
I am muted, and I've been talking, but
Yeah,
Ryan was.
okay.
Oh wow!
Did they hear the intro?
They heard the intro, but they probably didn't hear me say shit. So it sounded like I was just talking at them. Excellent. Anyway, welcome to Dicing with Death. Sorry that we are so late.
I did get an intro. I definitely didn't. Okay, I'm the only one that didn't.
How did you not get an intro?
I don't know. Oh well.
Oh well. Well, anyway,
As long as chat got it.
Yeah. So the reason why we're so late is that there was a big lightning storm up here in Haiphong, and it blew out a bunch of power transformers and power and internet has been sketchy, but it has restored itself in time for Dicing with Death, it seems.
Is Lightning Storm the name of the cocktail you were drinking last night?
No, no. Lots and lots of Jaeger. I don't know why they had like Jaeger, but it's pretty much that, and
Because it's great.
it's all right. I'm not a big fan of the anise flavor.
You're not a big fan of the anise flavor?
Anise, Ryan. Grow up. You're so immature these days.
Sounds like my volume's low. Is there anything on your end that's causing that?
Didn't you figure out the new volume stuff?
I thought I did. That's what I'm checking now.
I can lower my volume, and now you are higher by comparison. But that means chat must raise their overall volume.
Which is fine. Let me check, though. So, how are things?
Things are going well. It's been an eventful week here. How's it been for you? Any new molecules you've discovered?
Not exactly. But
What?
busy week at work.
You mean there's not
Excited
some
to play
crazy iron ion that you haven't ever seen before that has changed the world in the last week?
Nope, haven't changed the world. Still
No.
working on it.
No. Maybe Verissa can do something about it. So, I was really hoping you did catch the intro because I wasn't able to watch it before today, and I can't watch it while it's being played because of the way the volume works here. So,
Am I louder now?
Oh, hell yeah, you're louder now.
Okay. Is that too loud? Good.
I'll lower you down a little bit.
Oh, I can lower myself too. I am an idiot. I had my gain all the way down instead of all the way up. It's on the back side of the microphone. It's sort of hard to see. You've got to like invert it in your head and do the whole righty tighty lefty loosey deal.
Yeah. I understand. So,
All right.
Verissa, where the fuck were you? What are you doing?
I am with Pringle in Thurendal, I believe. We just escaped Rutule. Stole a horse. I stole a horse. Riding like the wind.
Right. What were you running from in Rutule?
I stole that Pentagon amulet from what's his face?
Oh, the kid.
Winkle the elf, the great grandson of Captain Oswald.
All right, I've got it all. All you needed to say was Winkle.
That's all anyone ever needs to say. Am I right? Okay. Yeah.
Great. So
I
you're in Threndel.
I have the amulet, presumably the key to the magical ghost ship or whatever, and the stolen horse and Pringle. We've been riding hard, but I think we need to keep going because we're probably being pursued by the town guards of Rutule. So I think we ended with Pringle dealing with the horses and getting them fed and watered, while I was going to get us food rations.
And just to make sure, chat, that's pretty much what the intro recap said, right?
Don't even ask chat. While you were away, they gave me like a +4 vampiric warhammer and a belt of giant strength.
What?
A vagina of devouring or something like that.
What?
It happened. It's canon.
Okay, awesome.
All right. So instead of paying for rations, I produce my vagina of devouring and demand that they pay them to me as tribute. No, I'll pay for rations.
Okay. All right. So you find rations. If you can just use the normal prices out of the player's handbook. If you know what those are.
I don't, but I can look them up.
I'm looking them up too. I was hoping you knew. Meals for 1 day per person. A good meal is 5 silver. A common meal is 3 silver, and a poor meal is 1 silver. Damn, I'm spot on with this shit.
And rations are about the same.
3 gold for a week worth of rations. 5 gold for a week worth of iron rations.
Yeah, so 3 gold for a week is like 5 silver. It's a little less than the cost of good meals. Yeah. So I'll just buy I'll buy 1 week's worth of rations
Cool.
for myself and to share with Pringle.
Of course. So chip out the 30 silver.
Yes, indeed. Pringle gave me cash last time, so...
Yeah. Well, he's loaded like that.
Is he?
I don't know. Is he? Am I just saying weird shit? We'll find out.
Okay. So I pick up rations in town.
Mm-hmm.
I'm exhausted. I haven't slept in like 36 hours, but I think I need to keep running.
Well, it's not too terribly hard to go a bunch of time without sleep. You can make yourself do it.
The horse is probably more of a concern.
Absolutely.
I do want to get some sleep so I can memorize new spells. Level 2 spells.
Do you recall what time of day it is?
Fuck if I know. I think it's like late afternoon.
Yeah, that was making sense.
But I haven't slept since like the day 2 days ago or something crazy like that. So I pulled an all-nighter, but I slept during the day. I don't know. Versus probably lost all track of time.
You don't know what day of the week it is?
I have no idea. You don't know either.
No, I don't.
You know what month it is. Don't know
Nope.
what season. I think it's autumn. I
Yep.
feel like we said it was autumn, so it's probably getting towards winter.
Okay.
It's always winter in Solemn.
You eventually meet up with Pringle in Threndel.
Yeah.
And
Does he have horses fed and watered?
he is sitting outside the stable, stroking, what's the cat's name again? Safi.
Daffy.
Stroking Safi and watching one of the stable boys rub down the horses.
The intro said it was nearing dawn. If only we had listened to the intro.
Yes, okay. Well, then it is just after dawn.
We can roll with that. Right, because we left Rotule late afternoon.
Right, and then you yeah.
Probably, so we probably rode like crazy. So it's probably like wee hours in the morning.
Yeah.
When we.
Well, yeah, so that's why he's watching the guy rub down the horse now, because the kid wasn't awake until you finished your shopping.
Sure,
And your
sounds
shopping
good.
had to be delayed until the shops are open. Okay. I'm looking for my notes. And
yeah.
So once you guys meet up and get all your gear together, what do you do? Where do you go?
So Pringle, you ready to keep moving?
He nods, tired and weary, but if it'll get Safi back, I'm willing to do anything.
To the south, then.
Okay.
I mean, to the north, then.
The kid pays you no mind. You gather up your supplies and you head southward towards Hamlet.
How is the horse doing?
They're pretty tired.
I
So
don't
you're not
wanna kill-
going
Well,
at
the horse.
a great
Well, I guess
rate.
it rode hard from Rotule to Threndel, and then we just gave it like probably a short break and some food and water. But
Mm-hmm.
so we'll probably leave at like a casual-ish pace south of Threndel.
You're not getting any of these music tracks that I'm playing, are you?
Oh, I am not even in Roll20.
Here I am
Yeah.
trying to like set the mood for you and everything.
What? It's been like 2 minutes. What do you? How much mood could he set in 2 minutes?
Well, clearly none because the audio tracks aren't working.
Well, they may be working. I'm just not.
No, because I
there.
can't hear them.
Can chat hear them?
All I can get is rain. All right, guys. I guess it starts raining out.
Game.
This is what we call plans of necessity.
Ooh.
Okay, so you head southward towards Hamlet, and the rain starts to pick up. What's his name? Pringle is a little bit more weary than he initially let on, and you catch him kind of like sort of dozing off on his cart. He doesn't have his cart, does he? Yes, he does.
He has his cart. Yeah, he's driving his cart.
Right, and then you
Do
were
you remember
just
that epic chase? Me
Yes.
like leaping from cart to horse and rolling
Right.
some spectacular rolls.
So you're heading south on the road when there's a whistling noise, and streaking across your face, in front of your face, flies an arrow with black feathers.
Can't deal with this shit right now. All right, I draw my warhammer and
Pringle
look
pulls the
forward.
cart
I
to
say,
a stop.
Pringle, wake up!
He stops the cart and starts looking around. And striding out of the woods comes this orc. He's got, dark skin, small tusks coming out, greasy hair that looks a little bit patchy that's been tied back in somewhat of like a haunted ponytail. And he's carrying a longbow in his hands and has another arrow notched.
How far off is he?
The road to Hamlet is pretty small. So he's like 10 feet over and then up a hill like another 15 feet. So he's actually pretty close because the forest is kind of thick. But he's also like got the high ground. And you should never attack someone on the high ground.
How thick is the forest? Like, could I ride my horse up to him?
No, not exactly. There's enough rocks and bushes in the hills steep enough that it would be very awkward to get your horse up there. Like a real horse. You could get a Skyrim horse up there, but not a real horse.
Unfortunately, this is not a Skyrim horse.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm staring him down at the moment, thinking through my options.
Following...
How far away can you get a distance in?
Yeah, it's like 30 feet.
Okay. I say, Pringle, keep moving. But I sort of park my horse off to the side of the road and keep an eye on this orc.
As you say, keep going. The orc grunts kind of at you guys, and Pringle looks back to you and looks back to the orc.
So I put myself on the horse between, like, on the orc side of the road.
I don't think you're riding a horse. I think you're riding in a wagon. Oh no, you stole
I stole a horse from the guard.
Yeah. All right, so you start riding towards him, and you hear him bark out in this like really broken common. Wolf chief, say, get woman. Woman, come. Old man, go.
I say, no, you, and I point my hammer at him, clutching my holy symbol with my offhand, flee, and cast command, which is the only spell I have left.
Well, that
Hopefully
works.
He speaks enough common to know what flee means.
He does, and he does not pass a saving throw, so his hand trembles.
Actually, he doesn't even get a saving throw unless he's a genius orc.
Seriously?
Creatures with an intelligence of 13 or more, or those with 6 hit die or more, are entitled to a saving throw versus spell adjusted for wisdom.
Well, fuck.
Wait, yeah.
No, he does not have an intelligence of 13 or more. He's close. He's a 12, but not quite. Okay, he takes off.
I think typically in those instances, don't you just go by the intelligence in the monsters manual and lump all orcs together with 7 intelligence?
Roll it, because humanoids have a pretty strong variance.
I say, all right, Pringle, pick up the pace. There might be more about.
He picks up the pace, and you two head out.
So we've got about a minute before he gets his wits together.
Yeah.
Realizes, why the hell am I running?
You don't see him for the rest of the day, and by that late afternoon, you guys are pulling into Hamlet.
We won't pull all the way into Hamlet. We're going to pull off the road. I actually think I drew a little schematic last week.
Yes. Isn't that what we're looking at?
Yeah, in Roll20.
Yeah. Okay. So you pull off the road just before Hamlet and make your way down towards the theoretical ghost ship.
I will delete 2 days worth of rations.
Yes. So it's late afternoon by the time you get to your pull-out point. The distance from there to the boat area, it's still a few more hours, and with Pringle's cart, it's going to be pretty rough going. He's got it out before, but
So I suggest that we
late. lately.
I suggest that we camp out here and rest the horses. It's a few hours into the woods.
Well, isn't there a nice town just down there with soft feather beds and waitresses to serve us warm meals?
No, it's a shitty town.
I often liked it. But if you insist, then we'll just stay here. And he grumbles and starts fussing around in the back of his wagon.
I say, if you'd like, you can spend the night in Hamlet and risk your sanity. We can meet up back here on the morrow.
No, it's okay. I'll just sleep in my wagon as usual. Come, Safi. And he takes off.
So if he's still following me through the woods.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's going to follow you through the woods before he...
So I lead us on like a meandering path and try to hide us in the woods.
Okay.
I guess just like 10 minutes off of the road, but...
Sure, you're more or less lost in the woods.
Try and meander and cover tracks as best I can.
Yeah. Okay. You guys bed down for the night and wake up the next morning unmolested.
Unmolested?
Mm-hmm.
That's always good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So get the horse saddled back up, armor up, and mount up, and probably I'll walk the horse through the forest.
Okay. So you walk the horse. He walks the horse in front of his cart because you can't. The cart has to be like to get through the woods like that is a real bitch. So it takes you guys maybe 20 minutes to cover that 10 minutes into the woods. It's a bitch. But eventually you get out back on the road, down a little further, and then take off towards Hamlet, towards the secret boating shop.
Why would we go back on the road?
I just figured that you didn't camp, that you would have like camped off the road in a different spot from the turnout to Hamlet. Or from the turnout to the boat.
I didn't realize there was a turnout. Yeah, okay,
I mean, it's
absolutely.
not like a turnout, but I would have figured
There's
you'd gone
enough
away
of a
from
path.
that spot. Yeah.
I figured it was just in the woods, and that the only trail was through the camp.
There's the way that...
I thought there was a path like that.
There's not a real path, but the way that... what's his name? Pringle took his cart. Carts have been moved through there a few times, and so there's like an easier way of getting through things that's not quite so rugged.
From the barn to the road to Hamlet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
sure.
Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Eventually, you get to the boating shop. You're kind of cruising through the forest when you see it down the hill out near by the water, or just 20 feet in from the water, and you also see two guards standing outside.
Do I recognize them?
Yes, they are they're two of the four remaining red shirt beleaguered men.
Right, I mount up quickly
to
set a more imposing visage and ride towards them.
Okay. The rain is still coming down, and it's a little slow going, but eventually you pop out, and you see the two beleaguered men standing outside.
Oh, I would have memorized spells that morning, or prayed for spells.
What would you have gotten?
Let's go with... HP's shit. So let's go Cure Light Wounds, Cure Light Wounds. How many targets does Cause Fear do?
This is a good question. / spells.
I think it's just one. Okay.
Is it just one?
I'll give that a shot. I'll do that instead of command.
Yeah, causes one creature to flee and panic at maximum movement weight. Okay, so you
so Cure Light Wounds, Cause Fear, and Aid as a second level spell. And I'm actually going to heal myself with some of those Cure Light Wounds. Oh, maybe I should have memorized to Cure Moderate Wounds. 7. That's probably good enough. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, sorry. Back to where we were.
Right. So you're going to cast a Cause Fear on him?
No, I am not casting Cause Fear. I was memorizing. All right. I approached and I shout, "Hail!"
They turn
as
to look at
I
you and give you a bit of a wave.
trot in on the horse, dripping wet, armor clinking.
What did you find?
We've got a guest. And I nod to Pringle.
They look
And I
out and
dismount from the
he's still
horse.
coming down the hill. It's slow going for him. They nod and go, "Isn't that same cart we stole before?"
It is. Only this time I'm suggesting we don't steal it. He is a wizard, and he may be able to help us with...
That's the same wizard from before? Didn't you
nod.
help him steal his cart back?
It's complicated.
Well, you best head inside. The false stat is in there somewhere.
Right. Is the barn open? Closed?
No, but they open the barn and let you take the horses in and the cart in.
Yeah, I lead my horse in, wait up for Pringle, assuming he doesn't get harassed by the guards.
No, but he, moves Safi onto his lap as they pass and kind of keeps his shoulders tight.
Mm-hmm. Does he pull his cart into the barn?
All the way in.
Okay. I start removing the saddle from my horse.
Okay. Yeah. Between the two of you guys, you unsaddle the horses. You put them in their stables. You do all the things that you need to do to prepare your cart for takeoff later.
Right. Is there anyone in the barn itself?
No, the barn itself is empty, although the hatch to the downstairs area, to the secret chamber, is open. And you see light streaming out of it.
All right, I gesture to the hatch.
Okay. The old man heads down the hatch with you.
You missed this before when you locked me in here, didn't you?
Well, who would ever thought that an old broken down barn like this would actually be the portal to the greatest ship that's ever been known, at least on this lake.
I guess you're not as intuitive as I. And I lead the way down the stairs, loosening some buckles on my splint mail.
Okay, you head down into the big
Stretching
cave,
a bit.
and you see Falstat down there with the other two red shirts. Talking with them, you see they've got like boards over their shoulders and a hammer in one hand, like a sack of nails off their belt, and various other carpentry tools.
Working on the docks?
They're standing on the dock, but they're just talking right now, but it looks like they're getting ready to build something.
As I enter the cave, I shout loudly, "Looks like you could use another hammer."
Ah, Varissa! You're back! And soon.
How many people would I estimate are around?
Just the three of them.
Just three. Okay. I mean, I was half expecting shipwrights and sailors and who knows what else. But it seems like
not yet, at least.
So this is who's in here? Is it Falstat?
Falstat and two red shirts.
Is that what they're going by now? The red shirts?
Yeah, they're the other unnamed people.
Oh, Star Trek reference. I was thinking like that was the beleaguered men's alias. You mean just generic?
Oh, no, I just mean, like expendable people that aren't worth going into their character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I approach, presumably followed behind by Pringle and Safi. Is he carrying Safi, or is Safi
he is carrying Safi and looking about very nervously.
Is the ship right there?
Yeah, the ship's right there.
Okay. I don't even mention it and let him piss his pants with glee or whatever.
Falstat puts his hands on his hips as you approach and goes, Isn't that the crazy old man who put a curse on the cart that you then helped steal back?
For the record, he did send me to go get
Pringle?
Pringle, yeah.
Right. Sorry.
Because Pringle supposedly knew about Shimmerstone Lake.
Right. You were actually sent specifically to get Pringle. Okay. It's that fuzzy... I didn't get to watch the recap. I'm not sure exactly how these events transpired moment.
Yeah.
Okay. So he looks at you and goes,
I came clean about Pringle, and he was like, okay, well, it sounds like he knows...
Yeah.
Or I told him that he knows about Shimmerstone Lake and that he's seeking
yeah.
whatever center.
Okay.
I have our sage.
Yes. Mr. Pringle, isn't it? He nods nervously. Also, the rain sounds are not as strong inside.
I haven't had any sounds. You failed to set the mood. It says it's playing in the jukebox, but I can't hear it.
Well, it's paused now.
Oh.
He looks up. He looks Pringle up and down again. Goes, well,
I say, before he has a chance to say anything, I say, and we've brought a gift. And I reach into my backpack and pull out the little hexagonal stone necklace.
he picks it up.
I don't hand it to him. I mean, I've still got it. And
he looks at it and goes, What's that?
Sure, I'll toss it to him and let him inspect it.
And he picks it up, turns it over a few times, tosses it back to you. What is it?
The key to the ship? I look to Pringle expectantly.
He nods enthusiastically and says, can we get on? And to which Falstaff replies, well, the dock's not ready yet, but we can get you a gangplank if you need.
Can't you swim?
Pringle goes, Safi doesn't like the water. Anyway, they start chatting, and one of the guys that's with you, one of the red shirts, starts putting together a gangplank of sorts.
Okay. I stay near Pringle's side to make sure that there's no ill will between him and Falstaff.
There doesn't seem to be any.
Okay.
They're just chatting about kind of nonsense, waiting for the gangplank to be up. But as soon as it's ready, Pringle bolts for the ship. I mean, he doesn't actually run, but he just ignores the guy mid-conversation and takes off. Gets on the boat and starts looking around, puts Safi down, and Falstaff comes up there with you as well.
Yeah, I follow slowly behind Pringle.
Okay.
And unless Pringle says anything, I will make my way to the captain's quarters.
That's where he's going to.
Okay.
And Falstaff joins you. The three of you end up in the captain's quarters.
Are the floorboards still tore up?
Yes.
Revealing the stone beneath?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I kneel down next to the... Can you remind me again what it looks like? Is it like a stone
It's like
disc
like an inlay or something. There's like a... How do I describe this? It's basically like a stone tablet that has a section of it removed, or where there's room to put in something in it. Like there's a missing inlay in the stone tablet.
Yeah. So it's a square.
Mm-hmm.
About how big?
1.5 feet.
Okay. I kneel down in front of it. Is there any inscriptions or carvings other than the block hole?
No.
Keyhole?
Nope.
All right. I double check that the key looks like it's the same size as the hole. Does it look like it'll fit?
Pringle is very obsessed with this right now. He's like, he's not even looking at anything going on around. He's staring like transfixed at this.
Okay. Then I let the anticipation hang in the air for a second or two and look up at Falstaff and Pringle.
Falstaff looks at you and goes, is that going to make it... What would that do?
I shrug and put the pentagon in the pentahole.
Okay. You go to put it in, and as you're doing so, Pringle looks up to you and goes, "Hold on, wait!" But it is too late, and you insert the key into the stone, and there's a rumbling and a jingling of chains, and a wind picks up out of nowhere and kind of whistles through the broken glass windows behind you. You feel this kind of jerking sensation as the ship kind of starts like there's the vibrations of something moving, kind of like moving through the ship, and then it starts to list to one side, and then list back to the other side, and then just kind of starts rocking. You hear the red shirts outside from outside crying in fear, and Pringle looks up at you and eyes agape and goes, "What have you done?"
I look out the window.
Everything looks pretty much normal, except you guys are on a ship that's kind of like rocking side to side instead of being very still. Falstaff looks around and then makes for the deck. Pringle gets up and, well, no, Pringle stays down trying to take the pentagon out of the stone, but doesn't seem to be able to do it.
I leave him be and follow Falstad onto the deck.
Okay, you head out to the deck, and you see the boat has shifted away from the makeshift dock. There's one of the red shirts is currently in the water. And the red shirts are starting to kind of, there's like a haze building up in and around the ship. Not on the ship, but around the ship, actually. So I guess it's not in and around, but just around the ship, there's like a haze building. Maybe like a fog.
I should have memorized the detect magic.
Oh, I mean, that wouldn't tell you anything. Everything's magic in here.
Yeah. I probably only look for a couple of seconds. Does anything happen? Like, does the ship move? Does the fog thicken?
The fog
Otherwise,
is thickening.
Thickening, okay.
Yeah.
If anything alarming happens in 10 seconds or so, I probably see it. Otherwise, I head back below deck.
Okay, you head back to the captain's quarters where this was, right?
Is Pringle struggling with the pentagon, the key?
No, he at this point he's just sitting on the floor looking at Safi, like, I don't know what's gonna happen, Safi. I don't know where we're gonna go.
You don't? What did I bring you here for? Shaking my head, I go to the pentagon and try to pull it out of the hole.
No such luck.
What's that?
No such luck. It feels as if the bronze plate on the back of the stone pentagon is like sealed to the stone on the floor.
Well, we're in Malchus's hands now, and I start walking up the stairs to the top deck.
As you start walking up the stairs to the top deck, you see Captain Oswald right in front of you, ghostly as ever. He's got a slight greenish hue to him. Yeah, on the stairway, heading back up. He's got that slight greenish hue, but at the same time, completely transparent. His, what do you call those weird French hats that are like bubbled on the top and then come out down to the sides? Boop.
I don't know what they're called, but I know what you're describing.
You know what I'm describing. He's got one of those on, which, you know, the sideways ones, not the front and back ones. With a, well, at this point, it's kind of like a greenish, transparent feather, but it was probably very impressive in its time. And he starts striding towards you, his boots and belts jingling as he walks.
Does he look like he's walking towards me? Or
yeah, I mean, he's making eye contact with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pleasure to see you again, Captain.
What are you doing on my ship?
Along for the ride. Does he have a sword drawn?
It's not drawn, but it's at his side.
Mm-hmm.
Growls at you again and says, "You're not going to be playing any more tricks on me this time, are you? That disappearing act is one I haven't seen before."
I take a step to the side to let him walk past me if he's like trying to get.
No, there's no way. Like, you'd have to like squeeze bellies to get past each other. These are like
okay. We're like in the stairway right now.
Yeah.
Then I start backing up into the captain's quarters.
He follows you.
Buckle the loose buckles on my armor as I do so.
He follows you in and turns to see Pringle there and goes, is this your traveling companion?
This is my acolyte.
Pringle frowns and stands up. Says, "You must be Captain Oswald of the Dragonfly, aren't you?" And the captain nods slowly. Pringle says, I've read all about you. Your stories are fantastic. I never really expected to meet you after, well, I mean, never expected to see a ghost in my life." To which Captain Oswald cocks his head and says, "You're a funny creature, aren't you?" You strange travelers. Well, you brought me luck last time, and I hope you'll bring me luck today. What is it that
We
you're
brought
doing here, lady?
you luck, I say.
I.
What do you mean?
Oh, just after you left last time, we, our local wizard here found a strange signal emanating from the waters. We're off there right now to find it.
This wizard? I point to Pringle.
You're a wizard, are you? No, no. My first mate, man of the red cloth. At this point, you notice you've left the cave. You're not sure when that happened, and you're not sure where
Fuck.
Falstad is either. But you're no longer in the cave. You are out on the ocean at night.
Is the captain at night, you say?
It is nighttime. It is a clear sky, and the stars are out.
Is the captain still blocking the doorway?
No, he's
Blocking
moved
the
in
stairway?
and is sitting on his desk right now.
All right, I will rush to the top deck. Probably as soon as I realize it's night, I'll be like, what the fuck? And run to the top deck to get a look around.
You pop up on the top deck to a crew, a ship filled with sailors. There's a bunch of people, rowing the oars. There's guys running to and fro. There's a couple of kids carrying water, all transparent and ghost-like. There's one kid carrying water to some of the rowers, and he stops for a moment to look at you, and then puts his head down and keeps going.
I snatch the water from his hand.
Give me an attack roll.
Ooh. I didn't want to be well, I'll roll. I'll roll an attack roll, but
yeah, it's like a
not aggressive. Oh, I get a +1 to hit now, don't I? I'm level 3.
Right? Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, snap!
You snatch the water from the child's hand, and
do I actually snatch it?
No, he just vanishes as if smoke blew through an image.
And there's no water left.
There's no water, and the men near to you, their jaw goes slack, and they look up at you.
I go,
and they stop rowing.
Carry on.
They put their heads down and keep rowing in silence.
If the captain doesn't follow me up, I'm gonna stride the length of the deck, hands on hips, as if it's my ship.
You find Falstad at the very bow of the ship, leaning out over it, and then looking back to you.
I join him at the bow.
He goes, "Well, this is some ship that you found. Guess we won't be needing any money from the king after we sell this sucker."
Sell the sucker.
Well,
you got any buyers lined up? And I think you may have some difficulty convincing the other captain to part with it.
He looks back across the ghostly ship and goes, I don't know how it moves on its own like this.
I look up. Are there stars in the sky?
There are.
And you laughed at me for wanting to get direction sense. Damn you. Can I see shore behind?
Mm-hmm.
Or lights from Hamlet or any of the villages?
You see a couple of lights along the edge of the lake here and there. It looks like maybe small camps or little tiny villages that are out there.
Do I recognize their placement at all? I grew up on the shoreline, but
you've never seen the shore like this before.
As in the lights are in places I wouldn't expect them to be, or
also you don't really know where you are.
I was assuming
spent a ton of time on the water, and the dock, the pirate cove or the hidden cove, wasn't in an area that you especially hadn't spent that much time with. So from on the water, it all looks kind of new, and you're not sure where those lights are. You don't know if that big collection of lights is Hamlet, or if Hamlet should be another 10 miles down the lake.
Okay. Well, I lean up against the bow and enjoy the ride for the time being.
Okay. Pringle comes out eventually to meet you at the bow and says, "Well, this is a most perplexing turn of events, Verissa.
Why did I bring you along again? You were supposed to be the expert in this subject matter, and here you are as baffled as the rest of us.
Without me, you wouldn't have gotten the key, though.
Without me, you wouldn't have gotten the key.
Well,
And without Safi, we'd all be dead. Is Safi nearby?
she's at his feet. Out comes from below decks a woman draped in red.
His first mate.
Following behind her is the captain, and they both come up to you.
She's draped in red, even though she's a ghost.
I mean, it's got like a greenish hue to it, but she's still red. Like, you can still see the colors.
Okay.
The captain says, "I would introduce you to my first mate, Mr. Staffney." She gives a polite bow.
Daphne, I am Lady Verissa. This is Safi, Falstaff, Pringle.
She looks out over the water and goes, "You strangers from far away, do you know what is out there? Do you know what it is that calls to us?"
The staff that supports the world. I look to Pringle.
She looks to Pringle too, as you do. Does he speak of the? What does he mean? And Pringle goes, "Well, there is a legend about." He kind of looks at you. He goes, "I've heard a rumor that a philosopher's stone, a chip of the staff, lies in these waters. That may be what calls to you." To which Captain Oswald goes, "What use is that? If you can't sell it, it's not going to do us any good." And his first mate, puts a hand on his shoulder and strokes his hair a little bit and says, No, I think this is far more than you would have expected. This is a great treasure if we can get it." And she turns around and flaunts away, red robe streaming behind her.
Roll for hotness.
Well,
how old is she?
Hard to tell through the ghost form. Ooh, wow, 15.
How old is she?
She looks to be kind of like a mid-30s.
Okay.
But she's in, well, I shouldn't say but she is in good shape and seems to have her wits about her pretty well.
Are most 30-year-olds, going senile?
Yes. We were out with a 35-year-old Vietnamese guy last night. He's Lauren's hairdresser here. And we were going with him and his friend who speaks some English, which is how he met Lauren. And she's a female, of course. And then as we go out to this place, another girl comes by and sits down with us, and 3 other girls show up and sit down. And he's like, "Oh yes, these are my friends. Welcome." And we were making fun of him the whole night about having all these girlfriends, while his 22-year-old girlfriend sits at home studying. It was
He's a hairdresser.
He's a hairdresser. He meets all of these people through his hair salon, including his wildly younger girlfriend.
Including your wife.
No, he met her at a coffee house.
Is that better or worse? I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. So, ghost ship heading to lands unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we take our first break here, or do you have anything you want?
That sounds perfect. Let's take our first break, and we're going to come back in... it's actually going to be a little bit of a longer break, guys, so we'll be back in 5 or 6 minutes. See you on the other side.